Have you ever noticed how simply being around certain individuals can leave you drained, emotionally manipulated, or surrounded by chaos? Evil isn't confined to myths or fictional tales. It exists in the real world, often lurking in plain sight. What makes it even more alarming is that it tends to hide behind subtle behaviors. But there's good news. By becoming more aware, you can learn to identify the red flags and protect your well-being. These people don't show up wearing horns or wielding pitchforks. Instead, their actions reveal who they truly are. They exploit your kindness, manipulate your emotions, and bring destruction into your life for their own benefit. The positive side? You don't need to become a detective to spot them. Ancient Stoics like Marcus Aurelius left us with timeless lessons on recognizing malevolent traits and guarding ourselves against them. In this video, we'll explore 10 unmistakable signs that indicate you may be dealing with a truly evil person. Signals you cannot afford to ignore. These insights will empower you to preserve your peace and protect your inner strength. So let's begin our journey of awareness and self-protection. Ready? Let's get into it. Sign number 1. Constant manipulation. Seneca once remarked, "He who has many fears also has many things to manipulate." This isn't just a piece of advice. It's a cautionary note about the immense power of manipulation when wielded by those with malicious intent. These individuals don't rely on truth or integrity. They twist perceptions, turning lies into their greatest advantage. I recall working alongside someone I initially believed had my best interests at heart. He would often compliment me publicly, giving me a sense of worth and appreciation. But behind the scenes, he began spinning quiet, deceptive stories, subtly tarnishing my work, blowing small errors out of proportion, and sharing them with management. When I finally sensed something was wrong and chose to confront him, he responded with calm assurance, saying he was merely helping me grow. It left me second-guessing myself. Was I the problem? I began questioning my competence. But the truth was, he wasn't mentoring me. He was maneuvering me into a position of reliance, slowly making me feel that I needed his guidance to be capable. That's the sinister nature of manipulation. It doesn't just confuse you. It chips away at your self-assurance. These manipulators don't aim to build trust or honesty in their relationships. They target your weaknesses, using them as leverage to gain dominance. They skillfully exploit your doubts, convincing you that only they can understand you, only they can help you. Stoic philosophy teaches that the antidote to manipulation lies in clarity and self-mastery. A truly virtuous person doesn't bind you to them. They lead you towards self-reliance and freedom. If someone continually pushes you to follow their path while ignoring your boundaries or independence, that's a glaring signal to pull away. Remember the words of Epictetus, "No man is free who is not master of himself." By choosing not to engage in their game, you reclaim your thoughts, actions, and decisions. Mental clarity and self-awareness are your strongest defense. There's no need to argue or prove yourself. Just disengage from their manipulation and hold tight to your personal freedom. Sign number 2. A mask of charm. Epictetus once wisely noted that appearances, no matter how captivating, often conceal the truth beneath. Have you ever met someone whose charm felt almost unreal, as if it were lifted straight from a film script? Their smile sparkled, their words soothed, and they made you feel uniquely seen. But when you step back and examine more closely, you may uncover intentions that are far from sincere. Charm, when it comes from a genuine place, is beautiful. It fosters trust, strengthens bonds, and creates meaningful human connections. But in the hands of someone with darker motives, charm turns into a dangerous instrument. They know exactly how to win your heart, soften your defenses, and present themselves as the ideal friend, partner, or mentor. But beneath the dazzling exterior lies selfishness and manipulation. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." These individuals don't just deceive. They wield their charm as a mask, hiding a core filled with self-interest, falsehood, and control. Pay attention to how they act when no one is watching. Observe how they treat those from whom they have nothing to gain. While words can be sweetly adorned, Actions always speak the loudest about who someone truly is. I once had a friend who could instantly make anyone feel valued. He was overflowing with praise, making each person believe they held a special place in his heart. But gradually, I began to see the pattern. His compliments were strategic tools to extract benefits. And the moment someone had nothing left to offer, he would drift away and even speak poorly of those he once praised. How can you escape this illusion? Trust your gut. If their charm makes you feel both flattered and uneasy, don't ignore that inner voice. These manipulative types depend on your willingness to dismiss those subtle internal warnings and buy into the story they've constructed. Stoicism reminds us that truth wears no disguise. True kindness doesn't need embellishment or performance. So look beyond the shiny exterior and search for what's real. Authentic goodness doesn't parade itself. It exists quietly, without needing to wear a mask. Sign number 3, lies without conscience. Marcus Aurelius once advised us, if it's not right, don't do it. If it's not true, don't say it. But for those with truly harmful intentions, truth isn't a principle, it's an obstacle. They don't lie by accident. Deceit becomes second nature. Their lies aren't spontaneous. They're deliberate, designed to gain advantage, dodge accountability, or twist your perception of reality. Think about someone who's constantly telling exaggerated or fabricated stories just to appear more impressive. Maybe they once told you they single-handedly completed a high-stakes project and deserved all the credit. But when you dug into the details, looked at the emails, the documents, you saw a completely different picture. And when confronted, rather than accept responsibility, they claimed you misunderstood or shifted the conversation in a different direction altogether. That's how expert deceivers operate. They don't just tell lies. They challenge your version of reality. They subtly make you doubt your memory, your logic, and your instincts. By doing so, they control the narrative. They rely on your uncertainty to manipulate the situation and make themselves look innocent or superior. These types of people constantly build on their fabrications. Each lie needs another one to keep it alive. But that's where their weakness lies. Truth stands firm on its own, while lies need constant effort to maintain. To protect yourself, start by noticing the inconsistencies. Do their stories evolve when questioned? Do their actions reflect what they say? Stoic wisdom teaches us that a person's character is revealed through their actions. So when words and deeds don't match, believe the behavior, not the promises. Ask questions, demand honesty, and most importantly, draw clear boundaries. Honesty forms the bedrock of genuine relationships. It's the mirror of a person's integrity. When someone lies as easily as they breathe, you owe it to yourself to walk away. Stoicism reminds us that our strength lies in self-mastery. Guard that strength. Don't allow repeated dishonesty to pollute your peace. Sign number 4, lack of empathy. Seneca once observed that humans are inherently social beings. We're not meant to live only for ourselves. Empathy is what binds us, allowing us to share in each other's happiness and sorrow. But when it comes to truly malicious individuals, empathy is completely absent. To them, people aren't companions. They're tools, merely stepping stones to further their own goals. These individuals don't care about your happiness or your pain unless it somehow benefits them. A lack of empathy isn't just a personality flaw. It's a glaring sign of something deeper, something far more disturbing. Picture this. You're sitting with a friend, opening up about something that's been weighing heavily on your heart. Instead of offering comfort, they shrug it off and say, "That's nothing. Wait till you hear about my day." With that one statement, they dismiss your vulnerability, making you feel insignificant. And this isn't a one-time thing. It happens often, like a pattern that slowly chips away at your emotional well-being. Their inability, or worse, unwillingness, to step outside their own experience creates a void. It's not just emotional distance, it's emotional neglect. Sometimes, their apathy goes beyond disinterest. There's a chilling coldness in the way they seem untouched by your suffering. Perhaps even a quiet satisfaction in watching you struggle. Empathy isn't optional in human connection, it's foundational. Without it, relationships become hollow, one-sided, and emotionally exhausting. People who lack empathy may pretend to care when it suits them, but their indifference becomes unmistakable the moment their act slips. Marcus Aurelius gave us a powerful reminder. Don't talk about what a good man should be. Be one. So how should you respond to this kind of emotional detachment? Begin with boundaries. Don't allow their coldness to define your sense of worth. Protect your emotional energy and surround yourself with those who value your feelings, not people who exploit them. True connection is about reciprocity. It's about being there for each other through highs and lows. So seek out relationships where empathy is mutual, where you feel heard, seen, and uplifted. Because in the end, it's empathy, not self-interest, that holds real human connection together. Sign number 5, the hunger for control. For someone with a truly malicious mindset, control isn't just a preference. It's their lifeblood. They need to have power over everything around them. Your relationships, your choices, even your inner thoughts. Marcus Aurelius once said that your mind belongs to you, not to the outside world. Realizing this truth is where your real strength begins. And that's exactly the strength such people try to steal from you. I remember knowing someone who seemed genuinely supportive in the beginning. Their advice felt sincere and even thoughtful. But over time, subtle red flags started to show. They'd slip in quiet criticisms about my decisions, gently planting doubt. When I considered taking on an important opportunity, they convinced me I wasn't ready. They told me I should let them handle it instead. I agreed, because they made me feel unsure, like I couldn't trust my own judgment. In hindsight, it was never about helping me. It was about keeping control, keeping me from rising beyond them. These people don't just want to influence you. They want to dominate how you think, how you feel, and how you act. They'll use flattery one day and guilt the next, all in the name of keeping you under their thumb. They don't want you to grow. They want you to depend on them. Slowly, your self-confidence crumbles, your ability to make decisions fades, and you begin to question your own worth. Epictetus once said that true freedom is the only goal worth chasing in life. But malicious people understand this, and that's why they work so hard to trap your mind. But you have a choice. You don't have to stay trapped in their web. You have every right to break free. Ask yourself regularly, does this align with my values? Use that as your internal compass. Your independence is your most powerful asset, and it doesn't belong to anyone else. Marcus Aurelius reminds us again, the truth stands on its own. When you're dealing with someone who constantly shifts blame, it's essential to stay grounded in facts, not feelings. Don't let guilt or emotional confusion fog your clarity. Keep your focus on what actually happened, not on how they spin it. And when they try to twist the story, don't be afraid to push back. Stay calm, stay clear. Ask the questions that bring light to the truth. This doesn't just protect your peace, it reinforces your self-respect. The best way to handle blame games? Draw firm lines. Refuse to play the psychological puzzles they lay out for you. Don't get dragged into their mess. Instead, stand firm in what you know to be real. Strong character is rooted in truth and accountability. And if someone consistently avoids responsibility, that's all you need to know about who they are. Your peace is worth more than their chaos, so guard it fiercely. Sign number 7, the pleasure of pain. One of the most disturbing traits of a truly malicious person is the enjoyment they derive from others' suffering. Epictetus wisely advised that we should associate with people who help us grow, but for these individuals, growth is never the goal. They thrive on watching others stumble, finding satisfaction in their pain and failure. This sadistic pleasure often begins with small, seemingly insignificant actions. It might start with a sarcastic remark, a mocking laugh, or a gleam of satisfaction when they see someone else falter. Over time, though, it becomes clear they take joy in the struggles of others, not because they've accomplished something, but because it makes them feel superior. I once knew someone who, without fail, would express an unsettling enthusiasm every time a colleague made a mistake or faced difficulty. At first, I thought it was just indifference, but as I observed more, I realized that their pleasure came from seeing others fail. They weren't motivated by their own achievements, but by the misfortune of others. It was their way of feeling powerful. Seneca once noted that no one is more miserable than someone who never faces adversity. But for these people, adversity isn't a lesson, it's a tool. They don't grow stronger by rising to challenges. They use others' struggles to feel better about themselves, feeding off the pain around them to inflate their own fragile sense of self-worth. This behavior comes from a place of deep insecurity. Their need to watch others fail stems from a lack of self-esteem. They can't build themselves up through their own merits, so they tear others down to feel momentarily superior. When you're dealing with someone like this, it's crucial to protect your peace and distance yourself. Their toxic need to feel powerful at the expense of others will only drain you. Surround yourself with people who lift you up, who support you through hardships rather than reveling in your setbacks. True strength lies in compassion, not cruelty. Seek out relationships built on mutual respect and understanding, where growth and support come first, not destruction and exploitation. Sign number 8. Isolation as a weapon. Marcus Aurelius once said humans are born to cooperate, with strength found in unity, shared experiences, and the support of those who care. For malicious individuals, this natural order is what they seek to disrupt. One of their most powerful tactics is isolation. By separating you from loved ones, friends, or support groups, they rob you of emotional strength and make you more susceptible to control and manipulation. I had a friend who, at first, appeared genuine and caring, but over time, she began subtly criticizing those close to me. "Your best friend doesn't really treat you well," she'd say, or "your family doesn't understand you the way I do." Initially, I dismissed her remarks, thinking she was looking out for me, but gradually, her comments became more frequent, distancing me from relationships that had always been my strongest support. Her method was calculated, isolating me from those who truly cared. This tactic is deliberate, a psychological move to sow insecurity and make you believe they're the only ones who truly care. The more isolated you become, the greater their control over you. But what they don't want you to realize is that true strength comes from connection. Genuine relationships are the foundation of resilience. If you start feeling detached from loved ones, take a moment to reflect. Trust your instincts. Reach out to those who truly matter, and don't let anyone convince you otherwise. Authentic relationships are where our true power lies. Protect your connections, and you'll find the strength to rise above any manipulation. Sign number 9. Jealousy in disguise. Envy is a toxic emotion, and it's especially dangerous when disguised as concern or goodwill. Seneca once reminded us that envy is the ulcer of the soul. For those who harbor it, their advice or attention isn't meant to lift you up, but to chip away at your confidence. Such individuals can't stand the happiness or success of others. Behind seemingly helpful advice or compliments, they plant seeds of doubt about your worth. I once had a friend who seemed deeply invested in my achievements. After I completed a major project I was proud of, she said, "That's great, but maybe next time you should push yourself a bit more to reach a higher standard." At first, I thought it was genuine advice, but upon reflection, her tone carried an undercurrent of subtle criticism, not to lift me up, but to diminish my accomplishment. These false compliments are often mixed with remarks that undermine. A jealous person won't attack outright, but will plant small doubts in your mind. They might say, "You did really well, but don't get too excited. There's always room for improvement," or "That's amazing, but I heard someone else did something similar and got even better results." This isn't care or goodwill. It's a strategy to bring you down to their level. Envious individuals can't celebrate your success because it highlights the shadows within themselves. Stoic philosophy teaches us to trust our intuition. If something feels off in someone's praise or advice, listen to that feeling. A truly kind person will elevate you, praise you wholeheartedly, and encourage you to go further. Sign number 10. The unrepentant heart. One clear sign of a toxic person is an unrepentant heart. Marcus Aurelius taught us not to waste time debating what makes someone good, but to focus on improving ourselves. However, evil individuals often do the opposite. They cling to destructive habits, never admit fault, and have no intention of repairing the damage they cause. They justify their actions with excuses, making it seem like the problem is never with them. Think of someone you know who always has an excuse for every mistake they make. When they hurt others, they deflect blame or accuse others of overreacting. But what truly stands out is their refusal to change. To them, self-reflection and correcting wrongs are signs of weakness, while stubbornness is strength. This mindset contrasts sharply with Stoic philosophy, which teaches that self-reflection, admitting mistakes, and making amends are signs of courage and self-respect. Those with unrepentant hearts not only hurt others, but also reject personal growth. If you're close to someone who justifies their actions, avoids accountability, and refuses to make amends, take a moment to reflect. Not everyone is willing to change. Protect yourself from toxic relationships and invest in those who lift you up, those who confront their flaws and strive to improve. Marcus Aurelius reminded us to focus on thoughts and people that elevate our lives. Remember, awareness is your greatest weapon. Toxic individuals can only manipulate you if you are unaware of their tactics. Recognize their strategies, and you will protect your inner peace. Stoic philosophy teaches that true strength lies in mastering your mind and reactions. Set boundaries, stand firm, and keep shining because your light is what they fear most. If this video was helpful, hit the like button, subscribe, and comment "I see the signs" to let the world know you're ready to safeguard yourself from negative influences. Thank you for watching.